Good morning, Big Brother fans. It's me, Mike, aka BB Gossip, and yes, I still feel like yuck. But Big Brother goes on, so we're going to get through this today. I'm going to do a fairly longish, maybe, podcast where I talk about everything that's going on. I am sitting at home in my recliner with my laptop on my lap, and I'm going to go over my little notes that I've taken, try to talk to you guys about what I've seen. We know that Ashley was evicted last night, 14-0. What's more to talk about that? It was a blowout. She just didn't stand a chance, and it went kind of like we expected. I didn't know it was going to be a complete unanimous vote, but it is what it is. All right, so, and pardon me if there's any rustling. I'm just tilting my phone around. A lot has gone on. I'm going to be somewhat simplistic about it, I think, but the gist of it is the feeds actually never came back after the eviction last night until almost 1 a.m. Eastern time, at which point we saw the entire house guests, all the house guests in cowboy outfits. The competition, I haven't read a lot about it yet, except to see that apparently you paired up with someone to accomplish, at least to start, you paired up with people. And because Devin said that Dee misinterpreted it and thought you eliminated the person you picked. And so, I am so sorry, people. I'm congested as heck. So, you paired up with people to work together, and initially Dee picked Devins, and then she changed her mind and went with Drew. I don't know if they'll show that at all, but Devins was commenting on how Dee made a mistake, and Devins felt it kind of showed Dee's cards that maybe she was trying to eliminate him. Now, Devins was telling this to Chuck, who he's not close to, so keep that in mind. I don't think Devins is particularly paranoid about Dee at this point, but it would pay for him to portray that to someone else like Chuck. So no matter what happened, in the end, Devins won, had a household. It did also sound like Drew may have thrown it to him and given it to him at the end. So that will be more apparent on Sunday's night's show. A lot went on after that. Devin said, I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock. And this would have been at, 20 minutes till 10. He didn't go to bed at 10 o'clock. He stayed up until, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, somewhere. He stayed up. They ended up having a meeting in the head of household room, and I really am cutting this short and summarizing it. They ended up in the head of household room. He talked to lots of people. He did the kiss the ring, talked to several people. I watched a few of those meetings. Told the previous nominees that they were going to be safe. I'm not putting you up again. You were up last week. That's not a way to do it. So I'm going after other people, right? He had expressly initially said that he was targeting Lyric, is what he told some people. But now it sounds like, after talking with Angela and others, that he's actually switched his target to Rome, to backdoor Rome, and encouraged strongly by Angela. So take that for what it's worth. The house guests, and again, it is, what is it? It's 1:15 p.m. my time, so it is 3 hours. It is 10:15 Big Brother time. They've already been up for over an hour. The biggest thing that happened last night, which I am sure will make the TV show, was they ended up in a meeting in the head of household room with the crossover alliance. And remember, that is Angela, Dee, Devins, Drew, and Barrett. That is the alliance that I'm kind of like in some ways rooting for, because I'm rooting for Barrett and Dee. And they also seem like the strongest alliance to me. But there's also this other alliance that Dee and Devins kind of created called the Red Corner Alliance, which is them, Dee and Devins, as well as Kamu, Haley, and Chuck. So those three are also added in. So those 8 people got together last night up in the head of household room, and they have formed a new alliance, which Drew named, the Tool Shed Alliance, all right? Because they've been called tools and things like that. So you have the Tool Shed Alliance, and while all this meeting is going on, Rome actually goes up to try to talk to them. He knows they're all up in there, and he goes to try to talk to them, and they ignore his doorbell ringing, his knocking at the door, to the point that he commented on it when they all came out. So Rome is very suspicious and has a right to be. He was very upset last night, felt like it was really kind of telling that they didn't talk to him, that they excluded him. He's seen the writing on the wall at this point now, and he's had a talk with Devins. Devins is kind of implicated, like, yeah, well, things are going to get dicey here. So Rome already has a sense that he's a backdoor target, and he has already been talking to people. He's gone around and talked to the people that were up at that meeting, some of them kind of like, what's going on? I thought we had a thing going on here. And I watched his conversation, and I posted it with D, where D kind of hemmed and hawed and like, well, we said we talked, and then we didn't talk. And it basically, D was saying, dude, you missed out. You didn't communicate with me, and I had to find other people. That's the way I interpreted it. I think Rome's kind of realizing, crap, I'm kind of in a bad spot. He also feels that the house is divided, which it kind of is at this point, and he sees himself as the strongest competitor on the one side. I don't know where Yash falls within all this, because Yash was not in that meeting upstairs. So here's the way I just posted a picture of the house kind of divided into two. There's lots of alliances, by the way. And this is not that. This is just, here's the 8 people that met upstairs, and here's the 8 people that didn't meet upstairs. And in my opinion, just draw a line in the sand for that. Devins is not going to go after anybody that was upstairs, and he will pick his 3 nominees from the people that were downstairs. And I think he's going to pick Lyric, Melody, and maybe Jason or Latrice, not sure. Those are the ones I think. And then again, his backdoor target is Rome. So the people that were meeting upstairs, once again, for purposes of clarity here, Angela, Barrett, D, Devins, Haley, Camus, Chuck, and Drew. Okay, those are all the people that met upstairs. So that means that the people that were downstairs were Rome, Lyric, Melody, Taylor, Jason, Latrice, Mallory, and Yash. So that's the 2 sides. And I even made a comment. I said it's almost like a civil war at this point, like the Civil War. Some of these people are working together, and they know that the line in the sand has been drawn at least for now. And that's where you saw Devins talking with Rome, kind of like, no hard feelings, bro, but it's going to get tough. And then Rome went and pulled a couple of people aside. He gives Drew a hug like, well, I know we're on opposite sides, but you're good with me still. And they're hugging. It's strange and awkward, and it's only week 2. So it should be interesting. Also, I haven't talked about here, Angela, I think she may have told everybody that was upstairs about how Jason had been playing with her mentally. The feed seemed to cut away, and maybe, so remember, Jason gave this whole sob story to Angela about his mom passing away and all this, and she got all emotional and was hugging him and everything. And then Jason went and told Melody and Drew how he played with Angela's mind, and then Drew relayed it back to Angela. Angela ended up in the dining room that was on TV on Sunday night, very upset, or Wednesday night, very upset, very emotional about all this, and she's kind of like wants her revenge on Jason for this. Now, to go down a bit of a rabbit hole here, there's the whole ethical thing of, is Jason right to play with Angela's emotions like this and do that stuff? And comparisons of Jason doing this to Johnny Fairplay, doing it on Survivor, or Matt Hoffman doing it an earlier season of Big Brother when he claimed his wife had a terminal disease kind of a thing. Is this fair gameplay to play with people's emotions like this? And my answer is, sure, it's fair gameplay. Jason was fine in telling Angela, you remind me of my mom and all this kind of stuff. It was the part where Jason went and told Drew and Melody that he did that he kind of messed up his game, because it got back to Angela. Whereas, to the best of my knowledge, off the top of my head, Johnny Fairplay never told anyone about his dead grandmother that it was fake until after the show was over, right? That came out about he told us, the viewer, but he didn't tell anybody on the island, right? Matt Hoffman did not tell anyone in the house, I was lying about my wife. Until that didn't come out until after the game was over, as far as I know. Jason has told people I manipulated Angela. He told people in the house. That's his problem. That's the only problem I have with it. I mean, you can be upset with him for doing this kind of stuff, but that's part of the game. So in my mind, Jason was fine doing it, but his mistake was telling everybody about it. Okay. So now, what's going on now? Again, we're waiting for the nomination meeting to happen. but Rome kind of senses that it's coming his way. Mallory was just up in the head of household, and Devins was reiterating to her, "You're safe." But Devins is also not saying who he's planning to nominate. I do think he's definitely going to put up Lyric and Melanie, and then the third person, maybe Jason, to kind of give Angela some thing. I don't know. It may be Jason, maybe the third. But again, the target is Rome, at least as of now. This could change. Things change all the time. Should be interesting. Other thing to keep in mind is that they are going to do this time capsule sometime today. Someone will have to be pulled aside and do some kind of a competition. I think it's going to make for very long diary rooms where everybody's going to be kept in the diary room for a long period of time so that they can't suspect who the person was that got it. And we won't necessarily know until Sunday unless that person spills the beans, right? So we'll have to see if that happens, if they choose to tell us or not. Of course, if it's a punishment, if they have to wear a leotard or something, I guess we'll know. We don't know the complete mechanics yet of the time capsule thing. Because if it's a punishment, is it a public punishment or is it a private punishment? And if it's an advantage, is it a public advantage or is it a private advantage? Revealing that you were voted to win the time capsule or the time capsule opportunity means that you're popular, which could put a target on you as well. So there's all kinds of intricacies to figure out with this time capsule thing yet. So with that, I think I'm going to sign off, guys. Again, I feel like blah. I've got a head cold. Actually, have-nots. One other thing, have-nots. The have-nots were volunteers, and Rome is mad that Lyric volunteered, but then Rome also volunteered, I guess, maybe to be with Lyric. Barrett volunteered. Camus had said he was going to do it, and the last person, we've got 5. So we've got Barrett, Rome, Camus, Lyric, and just Jason. Jason also volunteered. So those are your 5 have-nots who had to sleep on the beds. They will be have-nots until Wednesday night. I think it's Wednesday night at midnight, right? They do it for 7 days. So at midnight, they will get their opportunity to eat. And they usually have a party and all that kind of stuff when they get to do all that. So there you go. That's what I got for today. I'm sorry. It is Friday. We will be talking to you tomorrow, though, and catch you up. I will be doing other things. We'll see how I feel. Right now, I feel blah. So have I mentioned that? I think I have. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys later. Be well, everybody. Bye-bye.